Call in, connect. To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
All I can say is compared to Trump's first term at this point, ruh-roh. The reboot not as well received as the original. Economy is currently good or excellent. Look at this. In April of 2017, it was 40%. Look at where we are in February of 2025, just half that level. 20%. My goodness gracious. The term one high was 63% of Americans in February of 2020 thought the economy was excellent or good. This 20% we have currently going on right now is fewer Americans saying the economy is excellent or good than at any point during Trump's first term. This is not a good sign, Kate Baldwin.
J.D. Vance said last week, you got to give them time, even though that's not what they promised in the campaign. They said they'd bring prices down day one. But what is the view of the future economy then? Yeah, so this is the current economy. How about the future economy? Is the economy getting worse or better? And all I can say is, yikes. Yikes. Again, compare it to where we were in the first term at this point, April of 2017, 53%. The majority said it was getting better. How about now in February of 2025? The majority say it's getting worse. 59% compared to just 35% who say it's getting better. Worse is higher now than at any point in Trump's first term pre-COVID. This number, to me, is much more worrisome. Perhaps the worst number I've seen for Trump on the economy, because it says even if the economy now isn't great, they also project that it's only going to get worse from here. This is a big, big yikes.
Yeah, it's a big yikes. Because, look, people said they voted for him because they didn't think Biden was bringing down inflation fast enough. That's always the complaint. It was the complaint with Obama, too. Obama wasn't, after he inherited 2008's bank crash, when people lost their houses, when people lost everything, okay? When the whole economy went belly up because of George W. Bush, okay? And the fraud that went on in lending. And the liar loans and the packaging of those loans, where the good loans were shredded into little pieces and the bad loans were shredded into little pieces. And then the good loans and the pieces of the bad loans were mixed together in a giant bowl, like making coleslaw, where the red cabbage is fine, but the green cabbage has salmonella, listeria. And you mix it all up in the bowl, and now the whole bowl is bad. That's what happened to our mortgages. That's what they did. They sold them as packages, and they guaranteed that there were good mortgages in there because there were shreds of good mortgages in there. Okay? And so Obama inherits this. And he turns it around. We have to do an automobile bailout. We have to do a banking bailout, which was so unpopular because the banks did it. And it was almost like, what choice do you have? You got to bail out the ones that did it to you. You know what I mean? It was so unjust. It seemed so counterintuitive and so planned and so freaking disgusting and disgraceful. And yet the economy, had to be saved. And so what was done was done. And America got on with it, and people started to recover, but not fast enough for them. It's never fast enough. They can, because breaking things happens very quickly, very quickly. Look how fast Elon Musk is breaking things. Look how fast, because it takes no ingenuity. It takes no character. It takes no logic. It takes no rhyme, no reason, no mental, prowess to break something. Breaking things is the easiest thing in the world. Ask any 2-year-old. Just watch. Now, putting it back together, they're not going to be able to do it. Okay? And they never could do it because they are governing like 2-year-olds. I mean, it's who they are. They break things all the time, and then they complain that the Democrats don't fix it fast enough. The Democrats don't do it fast enough. This is always the complaint. So now he's in there. And he said, he was going to fix it on day one and blow up. Well, meanwhile, he said he was only going to be a dictator on day one. He's been a dictator every single day for the last 30. Every single day. Every day. And Doge, talking about it like that, doesn't it make it seem like it's almost real? It's fake. It's fraud. It's bullcrap. It wasn't set up by Congress. It has no authority granted to it by Congress. It is just and for them to be asking people who work in the Justice Department, what did you do in the last 5 days? You realize that if they said what they did in the last 5 days, they might actually screw up a case, a live one that they're working on against, I don't know, a white-collar criminal, against a Bernie Madoff type, or against a drug trafficker, or against a human trafficker, or against any lawless cabal of people that would end up on the desk of a DOJ employee, right? So they can't tell you what they're doing. So sick. And who the hell is this dick to be telling us that we need to answer his questions? Under what authority am I compelled to answer your dogebag question? Like, no authority. This is so disgusting. And the Republicans need to stop it. They need to say they've had enough. They need to put an end to it. They need to insert themselves into the daily grind of governing, which is what they ran for and what they said they wanted to do.
Could you imagine being an experienced federal worker and now you have to explain yourself to Elon Musk?
I can't, and I just can't imagine being a Republican lawmaker and not doing my job. And that nobody's asking me what I did in the last 5 days. Do you know? I mean, why don't you ask your Republican congressperson, what did they do for you in the last 5 days? Because that's the question, isn't it?
I can't even tell you what I did in the last 5 minutes.
Republican lawmakers should be able to tell you that. They should be able to answer that question. And nobody's even asking it. Nobody's even asking them what they're doing. Meanwhile, the Trump voters feel very, very betrayed.
I need somebody to tell me they're lying right now, because what the do you mean that I'm not going to get my SNAP benefits? What the do you mean?
We are possibly going to lose our farm if NRCS doesn't hold up their contract with us on the EQIP program. Because of the executive orders, there's a pause or a freeze on the funding, and they're not able to pay out on the stuff that we completed or anything going forward.
Beyond betrayed. They used us during the campaign, the elected officials from the Republican Party. They actually told us that it was not going to touch the documented people.
I mean, you're an educator. You didn't vote for Trump eliminating federal funds
No,
here.
I did not vote for that. I do not think that's what the voters want. If we have federal cuts, then that's going to mean bigger classroom sizes. I would lose teachers, first and foremost. It's devastating.
And she did not vote for that. These are Republican voters. They did not vote for that. You saw Mom at the beginning, Appalachia Mom. You could tell, no dentist within a 50-mile radius of that place. Okay? She's depending on SNAP benefits to feed her family, to feed her children. Okay? Then you see Farmer Guy, who came out of pocket tens of thousands of dollars, told he would be reimbursed. They're not reimbursing him. He's about to lose his farm. Venezuelans, they're about to be deported.